couldn't wait to lose her looks. Could not wait. As a teenager, it was unfathomable to me. She was unfathomable. She was blonde, gorgeous, like Meryl Streep gorgeous. Yet all she talked about was the joy of being older, the joy of not having men gawp at her anymore. I'd just plaster on more turquoise eyeshadow and scarlet lipstick before going out on the town. I never thought I'd ditch the scarlet lippy for nipple pink. I saw on Instagram, you're supposed to match your lipstick to your nipples. I remembered this when I was shopping in John Lewis, only I couldn't figure out how to match it up at the counter. So I took a photo of mine in the toilet and then dotted the screen with the samples. Next thing I know, I had the store detective looking over my shoulder. But you know, the other day, I was seeing a friend after having my top lip waxed, and some lad looked me up and down and asked me where I'd left my broomstick. The bare cheek. Thank God it's not the 17th century where we crones would hang, wouldn't we? For going mad, for being lonely and talking to ourselves, for being wrinkled and dry and hunched and sprouting chin hairs. Sorry? I'm talking too much, aren't I? Sorry, especially being in here. It's the last thing you want. A bit of privacy. You don't want to meet anyone you know in here or start talking to strangers. I'll shut up. Avoid eye contact. What does that say? Your NHS needs you. The need for blood never stops. I'm already a blood donor. Been one since I was 18. Some donor saved my life when I fell off the back of my boyfriend's motorbike, gashed a deep vein in my leg. The last thing I remember before passing out was my boot overflowing with blood. I've never forgotten. Kirsty. Sorry, Kirst. Can't talk. Get back later. Bet some of you men are here about your prostate, waiting for a rectal exam. Well, I wouldn't worry about it. It's only 5 minutes of middle-aged indignity. Women have been exposing their lady gardens since we were 25 when smear tests begin, and it never stops. Frankly, I'm surprised when a nurse recognises my face. The problem is, I literally can't do my job anymore. I'm the head of lower school at a secondary, and I just keep forgetting everything. I mean, not minor things, big things. Like, the other day, I forgot to pick up a guest speaker from the station on my way in. I usually do the 1 bun, 2 shoe, 3 tree rhyme to remember important stuff. You know, if you have a list of things you need to remember, imagine the first one stuck inside a giant bun, the second sprouting from a tiny shoe, and so on, and it helps you remember things you mustn't forget. Only now I can't for the life of me figure out why I keep picturing a giant bun with a little bat flying around it. Let's do again. Sorry, I should take this. Hi, Kirst. No, it's... Yeah, no, you didn't. Honestly, Kirsty, it wasn't a... No. Believe me, Kirsty, you didn't leave him over a tin of mushy peas. Yeah, no, it's okay. Look, I'm at the doctor's and everyone's listening. I'll call back later, okay? All right, yeah, bye. God love her. We've been friends since forever. The other night, she was like making fish and chips, and she asked her other half to go out and get some peas because they were run out. And he came back with a tin of mushy peas. It was the last straw. She packed her bags and left him that evening. She said he's known her for 27 years and he's never seen her eat a mushy pea. God, he's always been a tosser. She has night sweats from hell, and he just turns the fan off, rolls over and tells her to imagine that he's throwing snowballs at her. I've just remembered what the little bat flying around the bun means. I need to take my elderly neighbour to the optician. I'll just put a phone reminder in. Anyway, what was I saying before Kirsty? Oh, yeah, about me being so random. Honestly, I feel like I've got dementia. Like, full-on dementia at the age of 46, for God's sake. The other day, I even forgot how to get to Tesco's. Twice, I drove down Newmarket Street, and instead of turning left, I turned right. No, instead of turning left, I turned right into Edgar Street, looped back round, and then did the whole thing again twice. And I know how to get to Tesco's. I could drive it blindfold. It seems ridiculous to say, but I hadn't realised that it was all down to the menopause. The change of life. Well, I hadn't expected to be anywhere near it for at least another 5 years. I don't get hot flushes or night sweats. I mean, I'm hotter for sure, but I thought menopausal women were meant to be dripping. Like, the deputy head is joined at the knee to her cool box so she can stuff ice packs down her bra all day long and spritz her face with holy water. I have started to get scared by everything. Like, sex ed. It's always been my thing. Always, always, always. And now I'm literally quaking before every PSHE lesson. Just dreading a repeat of Noah Morgan asking me if I'd toss the salad. Honestly, I used to have loads of quips for situations like this, but it took me a minute to realise what he was going on about, and then I, for 10 minutes, blathered on about intestinal worms. Honestly, if it wasn't for my hairdresser, I wouldn't even have this appointment. She said I reminded her of her mother, who got really vacant. I said, thanks. She said, no. Mum had to give up work because she lost her confidence. But then once she started HRT, she was a new woman. I've always said I want to go through it naturally, but I'd give anything to feel like me again. Don't tell me you're suffering a menopause. There is no such thing as the manopause. You men might have a downturn in desire, thank God for that, but you don't fall off a cliff. You don't experience seismic physical and mental changes because your hormones have gone AWOL. You don't wake up one day completely different. No, what you have are midlife crises. Take my neighbour, for example. He spends his weekends thinking he's Captain Kirk piloting the Enterprise. Or Kirsty's fella. He invites his friends round to his cellar where they've set up tunnels and buckets of earth and one of those creeper things on wheels so they can pretend they're in the Great Escape. And because he's just spent his inheritance on a brand new touring top-of-the-range Harley Davidson, he's put his old motorbike down there on blocks so that they can act out the Steve McQueen moment. When did you last see grown women playing with Barbie? I have to say, going off sick has forced me to reset. I've joined a Facebook group called The Womenopause. It was set up by a costume designer who thought her menopause symptoms must be a brain tumour. She was repairing a rip one day on Snow White's bodice at the Courtyard Theatre 10 minutes before the curtain went up. And she just couldn't thread a needle. Every joint in her body ached and her fingers just wouldn't work to thread a needle. She was so convinced something was wrong that she ended up in floods. I think Dopey came to the rescue in the end with a safety pin. Mind you, it was meant to be holding his trousers up. The audience let out a right roar when he wielded the pickaxe and they ended up around his ankles. Anyway, the womenopause is fantastic. So many posts on there have made me realise I'm clueless. Listen to this one. There's a testosterone tsunami in my house. The other week, my 3 teenage sons had their girlfriends round and were steaming the pork and prawn dim sum that I'd made for my friends. Next thing, I was waving a baseball bat at them and shrieking like a banshee around the kitchen. Oh. I was a children's nurse, but I was only getting 4 hours sleep if I was lucky. One day, I was looking after 2 boys called Harry and ended up prepping the wrong Harry for theatre. And to the one who should have gone down and was nil by mouth, I gave a plate of sausages, beans and hash browns for breakfast. I'm on HRT now and I've become a freelance gardener and it's brilliant. I've called my business New Leaf. It's been scary to change career. Jeez. Anyone else feel like they've had sex with a bulging cactus after the rain? Yes! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. But more like hair straighteners turned up to max. We don't mention vaginal dryness in polite company, do we, ladies? The thing is, you begin to see that your personality can be changed, can be tampered with, and that's shocking. In fact, the change, that old-fashioned term, makes much more sense than the word menopause, because you do change. In fact, it's a perfect storm in a woman's life. A perfect storm. All regrets loom large, all past trauma, all the difficult stuff comes to the fore. Who prepares you for it? Certainly not my mum. She took to it like a duck to water. One thing I have realised, though, is that I'm no crone. You know, maiden, mother, crone, those set-in-stone archetypes of womanhood. No, I'm MAGA. And I'm not talking about MAGA, Make America Great Again in the name of Donald Trump. My sister Jo gave me a book on Native American women, and there's a great bit in there on MAGA. It's when she's at her most powerful, about 10 to 20 years before old age sets in. Jo keeps saying to me, you've built up your skills, your children are leaving home, it's a time of reckoning, use it, take control. I'm no Wonder Woman, I'm not, but I don't know. I guess I should be out there teaching. I could reduce my stress by cutting down on my working hours, which would keep my pension going, but I don't know. I just don't know. See, when I finished here, I could put a deposit down on a motorbike. Kirsty's fella says a Honda CGF 125 would be a good choice. Nifty around town, and then I could volunteer as a blood biker. Get that much needed blood to people exsanguinating at an RTA. I've looked into it. I could get my advanced certificate in 5 days. There's always loads of jobs going in London, which would keep my sister happy. She said I could live with her in Croydon for a bit. Maybe it'd be best to leave at the end of summer term. But Jo's planning to sell a house in the autumn. So, maybe. This whole world is built on hormones. Built on something as invisible as salt in seawater, yet you know it's there whenever you take a gulp. We're all governed by hormones. So here's an existential question. Are older women the truly wise because, well, because our lack of estrogen literally blows our minds. I can't be the only one who thinks the worst thing about being this age is looking into the mirror and seeing your mother staring back at you. God bless you, Mum. Even in old age, you were unfathomable. When my hair turns white, which it will, like Mum's, like Granny's, I'm going to colour it pastel pink. It'll look great with leathers. Dye my eyebrows indigo. Oh, did they just call Vicky Bailey? It's me. You know, thinking about it, I can't stand nipple pink. So why am I not wearing scarlet lipstick? White hair. I can't wait. Such a great canvas. Coming.